Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy, Evan Johnson, aka EJ. Do you have what it takes to survive Navy officer training? In this video specifically, we're going to talk about Fast Cruise, which is the second Friday of OCS. We talked about last week was First Friday. This is Fast Cruise. It is a week-long simulation of pushing candidates to the limits, both mentally, physically, with your leadership, decision-making, the whole nine, if you're ready to go to the fleet. The biggest thing with this, think of First Friday times 2. You're going to be woken up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You have your uniform, which is your PT gear, set aside. And the difference between Fast Cruise and First Friday is that First Friday, you're in one realm, you're in one gym, just doing activities. For Fast Cruise, you are literally working out for about 20 minutes. You're gonna pick up and go somewhere else. But what do you have on your back? You have your sea bag. And I believe it's 50 pounds on your back, which is gonna help you with your muscle endurance, muscle stamina, your endurance. That's where this comes from. So gonna get woken up at 4 o'clock, get yelled at, get a quick IT session in, which is intense training in the hallway. Then you're gonna move, you're gonna pick up your sea bag, which you weighed the day before. You pick that up and then you move and you do, I wanna say it's like a quarter mile at the instructor's pace. So it's not at your own pace. You're in formation, you can't fall behind and you can't fall out. So you're transitioning from being woken up at 4 o'clock, having a workout session in the hallway as a warm up. And yes, it's a warm up. Then you pick up your sea bag and you're moving and you run around OCS, different positions. You stop, you drop your gear, you work out again, you pick it back up and you move around and you finally end up at the field that's where the final evolution takes place at. So one of the important things is that you want to make sure you're solid in your physical and mental capacity, being sharp, having that mental fortitude, because you know it's going to be a long evolution. It is a full, I would say full morning, from like 3 o'clock in the morning when you wake up to about 7 o'clock, because you do have a normal schedule. You have to go to chow, your division has certain time to go to chow. So it's a lot of moving, shaking and baking. So Fast Cruise is ultimately transitioning from mindset to actually practical activation. That means going from a student status, you're in classroom, you're learning things, to being a naval officer, to actually implementing the skills that you learn at OCS into the fleet, into the real world. So the week-long test, it comes down to that Friday, which is the second Friday, which is Fast Cruise. You really want to focus on taking the advice of your candios, which is the class ahead of you guys that's about to graduate. It's going to give you insights, like how do you tie knots into a square knot into your sea bag strap. That way, when you take it off, it doesn't come unstrapped. You're going to make sure that you're locked in. When you pull your sea bag, you want to pull it high and tight so it's on your shoulders versus low on your back and sagging down, because that's one of the biggest things that people complain about. Having back pain, having soreness, that has to be locked in, because if you drop your pack and you can't put it back on, you pick it up and you move. So one of the biggest things that I would highly recommend is making sure when you have your sea bag the night before, make sure you put a square knot in the straps on both sides, because I've seen people, they get the gear, they lock and load, and they get on the first tour, and they run around and stop, drop the pack, one of the strap comes off, comes undone. So now you're struggling to keep that up and try to keep up the group. Like I said, it's a formation. It's nothing. It's not a sprint. It's not every man for himself or every woman for themselves. You're in formation and you're running around OCS with a load on your back. That's why it's called Fast Cruise, because you're moving quickly but safely and smartly, and you're dropping your pack and going back to the basics. Like I said, it's a lot of calisthenics, push-ups, air squats, flutter kicks, mountain climbers, burpees, jumping jacks. All those things are essential wherever you go, and you drop your gear, do your workout, pick your gear back up, and you keep moving. So again, Fast Cruise is not just another training evolution. It is one of the final hurdles you have to pass in order to move forward in OCS to graduate. It's one of the biggest things is physical activity as well as a mental fortitude to get you through it, because you can only fail an evolution so many times. If you double tap it, it's a whole other deal. So if you do not pass Fast Cruise, unfortunately, you will get rolled into holding company, which is H company, and you have to be there for 3 weeks until the next class behind you classes up and catches up to where you're at. And then you move on with your training. But in those 3 weeks of holding, you're pretty much working on the things that you failed in the evolution that caused you to get rolled. We had an individual in my class, he failed Fast Cruise, he just couldn't keep up, and they ended up getting rolled, so he had to wait 3 weeks, but then he killed it the next week. Well, the next 3 weeks, he was able to level up his push-ups and his run and he was able to pass it the second time up, but then you're on hold for those 3 weeks. You're not doing anything, you're on hold. So fast cruise, like I said, as a whole, is a combination of mental and physical endurance and stamina for the whole, I want to say 4 hours, and be able to prepare yourself for the next generation, not only of leaders, but also sailors, because you're going to be able to take these activities at OCS and implement them to the real world and in the fleet, and then continue to grow as a person and as a leader. So if you have any questions, concerns, please leave a comment, like and share this video. More videos to come about OCS and my journey as a naval officer and moving forward.